Alrighty, and for this week, I want to talk about the broad jump. The broad jump looks deceptively simple, and yet there's a lot of components to it, right? The dog has to know, right, heel position, has to have a weight while you get him leave the dog. The dog has to continue waiting until the judge tells you to send the dog. Then, with either a verbal command of, for example, over, or a nonverbal command, there are people who kind of just wave their arm. Uh, the dog then needs to know it's time to go flying over all of the boards. No tippy-toeing through the boards, right? No stopping, I'm looking at you, but just get over the boards. And when they land, they need to learn they cannot go say hi to the judge. They cannot sit there and look around at everything happening. They need to do a nice turn and come to you, right? And they have to know front. And then the finish, just wait there until the judge says exercise finished. So a lot of components. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do right now is use the whiteboard, which is something I've never used before in Canvas. I will give it a try, and I do hope it records as I do this. So if we have a broad jump, looks like a nice little broad jump, and I'm going to do 3 boards. Okay. Okay, 3 boards, right? And now you're going to set up. So here are you, the handler. Now, as we set up, right, we know the dog is on our left side. So let's go ahead and get the dog D right there. So now we have the dog and we have the handler. Now, when training, you are not going to go into the final position and assume the dog knows what to do, right? And for those of you who've been in the previous class, that's what we've been working on. So your first step might be to come over here. And here the dog learns to fly over. And that's very similar to a grad novice broad jump recall. Then what happens is you start moving back. And so now the dog realizes that the jump, right? Now they gotta kind of find you, right? And not only that, as soon as you are back far enough that there's clearance between you and the jump, now when the dog lands, you're gonna say, get it, and throw the food that direction. So what we want is, and let me change colors here. Oh, that looks like a pretty color. We want the dog at this point to go over, boom, get it, and off they go. Now, as soon as they get the food, then remember they have to come back to you. No lollygagging at any point. So that is what we're looking for. Now, um, that's kind of fun. Okay. All righty. So now where are we at? So you've done here, here, here. Now you as the person, whoops, let me change colors here so we know what's what. There we go. You're going to start moving now towards the broad jump. And here we go. And with all of these, as we keep going to maybe there, depending where you choose to stand. But with all of these, as the dog goes over, get it. What are we teaching the dogs? We are teaching the dogs that as soon as they land, wherever they're landing in here, their job is to turn and come to us, to go that direction. That's what we're reinforcing. That's the method to the madness. Okay. Now, once once the dog has this, so let's get rid of these little things. Once we know what's happening, now's where you're going to stand where you are. Now, people stand at different parts of the jump. Some of it's what they prefer, some of it's what's nice for the dog. I do not advise standing right here on the line with the last board. You're not really giving a dog time to get into nice um, position for a front. Um, Now, when I had Zelda, obviously we had two boards squished together like this. My feet were literally, oh, right there. Not a lot of room, right, to mess around with an 8 inches, right? Kind of one board, that's it. But when you have the choice, really think about where you want to stand. And hopefully next session, when I'm back in action, we can look at that and talk about it. But so what's going to happen? You're there. Now you're going to maybe come right here. Just, just for the sake of this. And then uh, yeah, the dog's going to go over. We want the dog coming over straight, having the turn by now and a front. And when the dog's in the air, you can pivot to face the dog. Um, a couple of things now. When we're looking at distance, handler, you need to be 2 feet from the jump. Okay. So make sure you're not 3, 4, 5, 6 feet away. 2 feet's fine. Um, the minimum distance here, if I can do this, is 8 feet. Okay. Some people do the minimum 8. I've seen some do 10 or 12, depending on your dog and how they jump, right? It might be a run, boom, boom, over. It might be a run, 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 sprint over. So that's something that is kind of your dog dependent how they jump. Okay. But that's the broad jump. Now, once you turn, you can, depending if you are tall enough for the dog to get through your legs, you can throw food through your legs sometimes ask for a front, sometimes stay sideways and fling it like you were when teaching. But all this is the broad jump. One other note here with the broad jump. We don't want a dog cutting the board. And so you can put something here and here, a stick. For small dogs with a small jump, it can be a ruler. For others, a dowel. But that helps the dog learn to jump straight all the time. Um, you can start with it being over the boards, then place it under the boards, however that works. So that's something to think about to the guides for the dog. And let me see. I'm thinking that is everything about the broad jump I want to say today, except take it slow. If right now your dog is, let's say you're right here, oops, ooh, that's different. In terms of stepping back, that's okay. Take your time going from here to here. Okay? Um, I probably did this over a span of a couple of months. Just take my time a little bit every day. What you might find is going from here to here, they get confused what they're supposed to do because it looks different. So then shorten it up, go back here. Okay? Right? Because they're going from seeing us in front of them to us next to the jump. Okay? So all in all, that's the broad jump. Let me put the whiteboard away. There we go. So that's the broad jump. So think about that and have a plan for how you are going to work the broad jump. Okay? The first step is get the dog jumping it. Okay? They have to be able to jump the broad jump, okay, in order to do everything else. Um, and so work on that and see how that goes. So now I will close this one and then I'll mention some more items.